Hello, I'm Dennis Pullin. One of my favorite parts about being president and CEO of Virtua Health is getting to know our colleagues and the many ways they are here for good. Each person contributes to healthy communities, and each person has a story to tell. Let's meet one. Rob, welcome, and thanks for joining me on Here for Good, the Inside Edition.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. So tell me a little bit about your background and how long you've been at Virtua.
So I've been at Virtua just a little over a year. In October of last year when I started. Great opportunity presented by, Mr. Pease, and I jumped on it, and, I've been happy at Virtua ever since. Besides working at Virtua, a special education teacher at Camden High School, head football coach and head track coach, prior military service guy, 25 years in the United States Air Force.
How long have you been at Camden High?
This is my fourth year, but it's my second time around. So I was there 96, 98. And went to some other coaching opportunities and came back.
Now, is this going back home? Are you originally from Camden?
Yes, I graduated from Camden High School in 1989, so it's home. I'm the third Hinson head football coach there, so it's family legacy.
Did you play ball at Camden?
Yes, I played ball at Camden High School.
Were you any good?
I was decent.
I played football when I was in high school for one day, one practice. I got hit. I left the field, went to the sideline, took off my pads, and went straight to the basketball gym and never set foot on the field again.
Those contact drills, they make basketball.
Yeah, that's what it did. Then you spent some time in the military, in the Air Force?
Yes. So I did 3 years active duty. Then there's a program called Pilot's Chase where you go from active to reserves, and you just kind of serve your remaining time in the reserves, and wound up doing another 22 years in it. So
I grew up in a military town in San Antonio, Texas,
San Antonio.
Very close to Lackland Air Force Base. Was that ever in your path? Did you ever make it to San Antonio?
Every Air Force member goes to Lackland for basic training.
Yep.
So I spent some time there, and I've been down there a couple times with the All-American game. So San Antonio is actually one of my favorite cities.
Well, that's my hometown, and I grew up maybe 2 miles from Lackland Air Force Base. So I know it quite well. So how did your military experience sort of impact your approach to leadership?
Being in the military, it's like the ultimate team, so, kind of, you have a mission, and a goal. And then when you're part of the military, like everyone has to be on board to kind of get that done.
It really is teamwork.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a question.
It's teamwork. And it's like lessons you can apply in every aspect of your life. But being in the military actually really helped me a lot, in terms of regaining my vision and what I want to do in my life.
You mentioned the lessons that you learned from the military. Are there any in particular that you bring to work with you today? So, you're part of our protective services here at Virtua. Any of those experiences that you bring with you on a day-to-day basis here at Virtua?
When you're there in the military, it's a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds, and everybody has their own reasons why they come in the military, and when you're a part of it, you have to work together to get the mission done. But also in terms of being a leader, as you progress through the ranks, you have to really become empathetic to people's backgrounds and embrace their differences. And then, that kind of shaped me as a leader, military-wise, as a coach, and now as a security officer.
I don't know an athlete or a coach that at some point in their life didn't think about appearing in Sports Illustrated. And so I know that you were recently highlighted, the Camden High School football team, the first state championship at Camden High. Is that correct, in their division?
Yes, sir. So back in 1976, Camden High had an undefeated season, but they didn't recognize state champions until like 2022. So they were undefeated, sectional champions, and we were the first awarded state champions, so I want to make sure I give those guys their props for setting the groundwork there. But yes, we were the first team in Camden High School history to win a state championship.
What did that mean to you, being featured in Sports Illustrated? And, how does that connect you with your approach to not just leadership, but to service?
It meant a lot, it meant a lot because prior to coming back to Camden High School, I was at Rutgers University in New Brunswick on the football staff up there. And I left Rutgers to come back to Camden because it's my hometown, and it was very meaningful for me to be able to come back and do something that's never been done before in the city of Camden professionally, but then also the impact that it had on the young men, that played underneath my coaching staff. You know, they bought into what we were trying to do. They got a idea, a bigger picture, and we were able to do something that no one can ever take away from now, you know, making history.
There's something about the love of the sport, and clearly which you have, but it's also about being in a position where you're able to shape, boys and the young men and hopefully productive citizens as they go on to do different things. And I know that one of the things that you've done that I'm really proud of and appreciative of is that you've connected some of the young men that play on your team with some of the things that we do at Virtua. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on why that was important to you and perhaps the experience that these young men are able to have?
Being in the military, you know, you always hit a term, boots on the ground. So within our program, we have a volunteer like arm of it that we call cleats on the ground, which is like a play on that. And that's where we do our volunteer work. I mean, you know, our guys have done, you know, Read Along America and the Dr. Seuss stuff and, you know, food banks and, you know, a bunch of different things. And then, you know, Mr. Pease, he's aware of that, you know, that we do have a big, you know, community service thing there. So he invited us to the Thanksgiving turkey giveaway,
Oh, okay.
which was phenomenal. It was actually on our state semifinal day. You
Really?
know, yeah.
They did it
So
anyway.
they did it anyway. So
How did that experience impact those young men?
it was tremendous. You know, when we pulled up, there was lines lined up, you know, all the way around the building already, all the way on 10th Street, all the way to Atlantic Avenue. And our guys were like, man, we didn't realize so many people like needed stuff, you know, and it's like, it's cold out here and they're already lined up, you know, so you know, they were really excited. They were dancing and they were just kind of, you know, looking at the people, just really in amazement. It's like, Coach, that was kind of dope, Coach. Like, I didn't realize so many people needed so much, you know. So it was really, really good.
I think it's great that you start instilling sort of the concept of service, to them at such a young age, and particularly as a team and doing it together. I would have thought that that really meant a lot to them.
Yeah, it did. Like, I mean, they still talk about it like, yo, you're going to take some other guys next year to the turkey, you know, giveaway. And I'm like, yeah, you know, we're going to always do that. So I'm really thankful that, you know, Mr. Pease gave us that opportunity.
So looking back on it, what does it mean to you in terms of as you know now what it means to be here for good? Clearly, how do you think you will in the future incorporate that into your coaching, into the work that you do at Virtua? There's just something about service that I think has the ability to bring out the best of us.
It's going to be a part of me forever, you know, and as long as I'm coaching, it's going to be a part of the young men that, you know, that we are tasked to, you know, teach, because we're not just, you know, coaching football. Obviously, is the life lessons, you know, having to give back. Camden's a tough city, you know, so we tell the guys that you have to leave, you know, to kind of find yourself, but then you have to come back. You know, you have to come back, you have to give back, you know, and most of my life has been with service, you know, whether it was before I started coaching, I was working with adjudicated youth, and that's how I got into coaching. One of my high school coaches was the head coach at Eastside, and he's like, yo, do you want to coach?
And you're like,
Sure, I'll coach you. And so,
it's the family business. Why not? Why not? Now, do you have kids?
yes, I have 6 children.
6.
Yeah.
Man, you got a basketball team plus a reserve.
I know, right?
So how old is your oldest and youngest?
34 is my oldest, and 7 is the youngest.
Any of them have the coaching gene?
My daughter, Taylor, she just finished her college career, you know, really, really successful college career. She played high school at Collinswood, then played at Caring University and scored 1,000 points and all that stuff.
Really?
And now my daughter Tatum just scored her 1,000 point at Collinswood as a junior, and Taylor's her assistant coach.
So it sounds like your kids are much better athletes than you.
Absolutely.
But
Mom played so basketball.
Oh, so everybody. So you were the runt in the family, huh? Well, great. You should be pretty proud.
Yeah, I am. We get to go to the games and watch, you know, Taylor coaching Tatum, and then Jeremiah, he's playing 8th grade at the middle school right next door. So you get the middle school to the high school and see all the kids.
What advice would you give someone that's trying to find their purpose? I mean, obviously, you've had a very successful career in and out of the military, your coaching, and just your desire to give back and to make a difference. There's a lot of people out there and watching this episode that may be struggling with really connecting with their purpose. What advice would you
I think
give?
one of the biggest things is just being able to take a challenge, something different, you know, step outside your comfort zone, You know, when I went into the military, you know, my family, you know, and kind of, I guess our community doesn't really embrace the military, you know, and I was kind of second guessed on why I'm going to the military. I shouldn't go to the military. It's not for us, that type of thing. But I stepped out of my comfort zone and did it. And, you know, it's been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And it's 25 years that I do again. So I would say the biggest thing is just not being afraid to step outside of your comfort zone.
I like to say sometimes you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And listen, I thank you for your prior service. I thank you for the service you're providing for not only just Virtua, but the community and what you're doing with the young men that you coach. So congratulations and thank you so much.
So thank you for having me.
This has been a great episode, an exciting story, an inspiring story. So please stay tuned for our next episode of Here for Good, the Inside Edition, where we learn more incredible stories about our fellow colleagues.